All right, so we're all set. Let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing great today. So this Thursday morning, let's start off by going over, like we do every day actually, going over to the computer. Let's check out a quick recap of what we did yesterday, and then we'll tackle our day from there. So, yesterday, what did we do? Let me see. So, oh yes, we put the first coat of our plants down on our background. And then after that, what did we do? We took the compass, we made little circles, which I call my electromagnetic waves. And then, of course, we painted those in. So that is basically what we did yesterday. So what are we going to do today? Well, today it's pretty simple. We're going to continue on our new painting. We actually started this painting this week. And we are going to add what I call little planets. So at least we're going to add the first coat. I'm not sure if we'll need two coats, just like I wasn't sure if we'll need two coats of the gray for these for the plants. For the background, we had to put two coats because you could see right through and you could see every brush stroke, which was kind of a pain in the neck. So sometimes you have to put two coats, sometimes you don't. So we're going to put the first coat of these planets, and then we're going to put some details on our leaves, and I think that's probably what we're going to do today, because we're going to have to wait for everything to dry before we can continue on this painting. So let's not waste any time. I'm going to grab a palette right here. So this is, well, this is kind of something I kind of find kind of fun. So I'm going to bring over camera number 1 here for those who are following on YouTube. And I'm just going to show you kind of a close-up of my little palette here. So let me switch over to camera number 1. And my little palette, as you can see, it's full of paint from the previous days. Well, all I have to do is just grab a little edge of this paint and I can start peeling it off, because the binder that holds the pigments of acrylic paint, the binder is nothing more than a polymer emulsion. So what does that mean? It means that on a non-porous surface, the paint just kind of peels off, and you very quickly realize that acrylic paint is nothing more than plastic. And this one's giving me a hard time because the paint isn't 100% dry. Otherwise, it would peel off very easily. And here it's giving me a hard time, just to show everybody that I'm a weakling and that I have no more muscles. Damn you. How dare you make me look bad. So anyways, I'm going to peel this sucker off finally. There we go. So as you can see, this is nothing more than plastic. And that's what acrylic paints are, basically nothing more than plastic. So anyways, which is pretty practical because it gives you constantly clean palettes to work with. So let me get this camera out of my face here. I'll put you back here because this is where we're going to start anyways, way up there. So very good. So bullseye. So anyways, so let's start this paint. I'm going to put some white, bring in some black to make a very light gray. This entire painting is going to be just a variation of different grays. So, no, I don't want to use this palette. What am I doing? I want to use this palette. There we go. So. And I'm probably going to be using the same color gray as the background of these planets to do the details of my plant. So I might as well make a good batch of it. There we go. I'm going to clean off my knife here. Very good. There we go. And now I'm going to just bring in a little bit of black paint. Not too much because the black paint overwhelms very quickly my white. So I'm just going to put a little peanut, maybe just 2 little peanuts worth of black on the side that I'll bring in little by little until I find the right shade, because I have to keep in mind as well that as the paint dries, it has a tendency to darken, right? So I have to keep that in mind as I'm looking for the right hue that I want for my planets. And if it's a little too light or a little too dark today, since I'm pretty sure I'll have to put 2 coats on, it doesn't really matter. So let me get a bigger brush to do the mixing and to find the right hue for my planets here. So let me just grab this, grab a little bit of black, and I'm going to mix it in right there. Not too exciting. It's awfully thick, so I have to definitely put quite a bit of water in that, especially with this heat. I don't know, it must be in the upper 80s. Really, really hot here in Nice, south of France. So this is definitely very light gray. Kind of what I was looking for. Just going to work this a little bit more. Make sure everything is nicely blended, nice and homogeneous. I don't have any black streaks showing up. So I want this gray to be almost lighter than my background. I don't know, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to have to try this to see if it works the way I want it to. So this is nicely blended. Let me try this now with my brush that I'm going to be using, because I am not sure this is going to be the right hue of gray that I'm looking for, the right tint. Let's try it. I can see though it's still a little bit thick, but okay, so I'm going to just switch over to camera number 1 here. Let's try it right up here where I would put my first planet, and that looks like it's the right color. So very good. So let's I am just going to add maybe a little bit more water, because like I said, that is pretty thick. I noticed on a lot of these colors, no matter how thick you put the paint on, you still have to add a second coat. You would think, like, because it's on really thick, that you won't see the brush strokes or you won't see through it, but for some odd reason it doesn't quite work out that way. Let me rinse off my brush as well. Start fresh. There we go. And since we are live on Instagram as well, I'm going to bring this over right in here. There we go. So I forgot to switch cameras. I apologize. Let's continue. Go. I'll zoom in right here. So I have something to edit my movie with. Make a nice big one. Big circle right in there. That. Guess I can zoom out. A lot of these little planets we won't even see, just for the simple reason that I'm going to be putting a lot more plants on top of all this afterwards. So a lot of these get covered. Okay, so let's come back to the beginning here. Can add a few more of these plants. A few more of these planets, I should say. Big one. Now, yes, all I have to do is just turn everything around and continue. I wouldn't be surprised if I had to put a second coat tomorrow. Hopefully not, but usually that's the way it works, so. Like I know in this area there are going to be so many plants that most of these little planets you won't even see them, but what the hell? Maybe they'll pop up between two leaves. Who knows? Here it's not even worth doing it, so I'm just going to skip over and come here. A little bit. Actually, I'll just move everything over. Like that. This baby. It's not so much at an angle. Well, so how's all that look? Did I miss any area? Nope, I guess that's pretty good. So I guess I can put this right side up again. And now we're going to tackle the details of these plants. I'm going to be using the same color gray, so I don't have, it's actually going to turn out to be a very short stream. I can see that now. Goes. So let me move this over, this out of the way as well. There we go. So got my camera set up, and I'm going to use a larger brush for these plants. Okay, so all right, so I'm just going to check out my computer 1 second. Right, very good. So just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything and that everything was working all okay, and apparently it is. So that's good news. So let's get back to our plants. And it is so warm here that my paint is already thickened as the water evaporated. I'm just going to add maybe a little bit, just one fat drop of water, and stir all this up again. I do want the paint to kind of glide on the canvas. Get rid of the excess paint on the handle here. Okay, so before I continue, I'm going to grab a drop of water here. Oh, boy, that's good. It's warm, but it's wet. And that's what counts. So let's switch back to camera number 1. This time maybe I'm going to play a little bit of music. This is my friend Jacek on the guitar, and it's at least I don't have to pay or get worried about having any copyrights, hassled on YouTube because of that. So anyways, very nice of him to give me his music so that we could play it while we're painting. So let's go for it. I'm going to switch to camera numero 1, and let's add these details here. Putting these details on very thick, as you can see, because there's going to be a black outline afterwards. And I just put my hand in the paint right here in the bubbles. I'm going to have to be careful after all. Keep forgetting about that, concentrating on what I'm doing. these, of course, really thick for the simple reason that there's going to be, like I said, black outlines around there and on top of all that. So to be able to see the lighter gray, I purposely put it on very thick. Let's move down to the next plant right over here. Move everything to the side so I'm not in front of the lens. And I am, just for a quick second, going to add some water more to my paint. Okay, so that's it for plant number 2. Let's move on here to numero 3. Start with this leaf right here because since I'm right-handed, I don't want to put my hand in the paint, which I already have a little bit, so. It's a little weird for me to be putting on this line so thick, but every time I put the black outline afterwards, I always say to myself, why didn't I put this thicker? So maybe I'm actually still learning and improving. Who knows? We'll figure that out when we come to the details. As I'm doing this, it does feel weird to go in this thick. So unfortunately, I'm afraid that this is going to be the end of today's stream. I was hoping I had my fan on full blast, and I was hoping like all these planets would be dry enough to either put a second coat or to put the highlights to them. But they're still not dry, so I can't really tell. It has to be fully dry. And sometimes if you go too quickly, the top of the paint actually looks like it's dry if you touch it, but underneath it's still wet. And you know, if it's on thick, so so it takes on a whole different look as soon as it fully dries in depth. That's why on paint cans, when you're painting your house, they say wait, 12 hours, but you touch the paint after 2 hours and it feels dry. But when they say wait 12 hours, it's because it's the top layer of the paint that's dry, but in depth it still hasn't dried completely, and it changes. The hue changes as it dries completely. In my case, in many of my paints, they tend to darken. So I can't really judge anything until it's completely and fully dry. So anyways, not that I'm looking for an excuse to leave early. Lord knows I wouldn't do that. But anyways, so first of all, I'm going to stop my Instagram stream. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry this is such a very quick stream, but at this stage of the painting, there's not much I can do. So anyways, join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. if you can, or at 3 p.m. if you're in France, or if you're in Mumbai at 7:30 in the evening, and we will continue on this painting tomorrow. So anyways, I want to thank you for joining me. Very quick stream, and I all hope you have a wonderful day. Ciao, mes amis. That takes care of these guys. Goodbye, Instagram. And let me zoom in a little bit with this camera here. Like that, I'll have 2 points of view. I'll have the left camera number 1 and camera number 2. Like that, when I edit my movie, it will give me 2 points of view to play with. Anyway, so once again, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. And like usual, I'm going to leave you with 2 things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule. I thought I had some paint right here, but anyways, I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao, mes amis.